French investigators say usable data has been extracted from the cockpit voice recorder of Germanwings 4U9525, but it has so far yielded no clues as to the cause of the plane's crash. They said the plane hit the ground in the French Alps at great velocity, suggesting no explosion in flight. Flight 4U9525 from Barcelona to Duesseldorf crashed after an 8-minute rapid descent on Tuesday. The French, German, and Spanish leaders visited the crash site on Wednesday. Remi Jouty, the director of the French Aviation Investigative Agency, said there were sounds and voices on the cockpit voice recorder but that it was too early to draw any conclusions. He said he hoped investigators would have the first rough ideas in a matter of days but that the full analysis could take weeks or even months. There had been earlier reports that the second black box, the flight data recorder, had been found. But Mr. Jouty said this was not the case. Flying to the end. Mr. Jouty said the plane's last communication was a routine one with air traffic control. The plane confirmed instructions to continue on its planned flight path but then began its descent a minute later. Mr. Jouty said controllers observed the plane beginning to descend and tried to get back in contact with the pilots but without success. He ruled out an explosion, saying, "The plane was flying right to the end." Mr. Jouty said, "At this stage, clearly, we are not in a position to have the slightest explanation or interpretation of the reasons that could have led this plane to descend, or the reasons why it did not respond to attempts to contact it by air traffic controllers." Meanwhile, the BBC's Lucy Williamson in Les Alpes says there are now reports that bodies are being recovered and airlifted from the site. Shoulder to shoulder. Germanwings chief Thomas Winkelmann said 72 of the 144 passengers were German citizens. The victims included 16 pupils returning from an exchange trip. Spain's government now says 51 of the dead were Spanish. UK Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond confirmed that 3 Britons were on board. Other victims were from Australia, Argentina, Iran, Venezuela, the US, the Netherlands, Colombia, Mexico, Japan, Denmark and Israel. However, there may be some duplication because of dual citizenship. Earlier, French President François Hollande, German Chancellor Angela Merkel and Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy gave a press conference after visiting the site of the crash. Mr. Hollande told his counterparts, "The French people are here shoulder to shoulder with you during this ordeal. Everything will be done to find, identify and hand back to the families the bodies of their loved ones." Both he and Ms. Merkel said they would do everything they could to find the cause of the crash. Ms. Merkel added, "François, I would like to thank you on behalf of millions of Germans for this example of German-French friendship." In a press briefing later, Carsten Spohr, CEO of Lufthansa, which owns Germanwings, said this was the darkest hour of 60 years of Lufthansa. He added, "We cannot understand how an airplane in perfect technical condition with 2 such trained pilots was involved in such a terrible accident."